Sure.
Can't wait for this one.
Okay.
Right? Oh, we got to get the little thing in the chat. Get the chat started. A lot of topics tonight. A lot to talk about. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
What you think, Carlita?
Yeah.
I need to turn my volume off. Let me do that. Lo siento, amigos. Lo siento. All right, we're off. All right, let's lock in. Let's go. All right. Hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is July the 11th.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. I'm looking at the computer. Yes, it is the 11th.
And it is Tuesday. Starting out real quickly today with an apology. We have had a very busy last 3 weeks. We had a youth camp and then a Whites and Woodies tournament and then another camp and then our SummerSlam tournament. And then we took yesterday to do some grocery shopping. Anyway, long story short, we've been busy and we've missed you guys. So hopefully everyone is doing wonderfully. All right. So in the chat, by the way, if you have any questions, any topics, and any ideas, any thoughts that you want to lay out there, then we'll talk about them. We look forward to doing so. All right. So have your topics ready. Okay. Ready?
Ready?
Did we lock in yet?
We did. Yeah.
All right. We're locked in and ready to roll. All right. We have discussed this first topic before. I think we've discussed it a couple of times. Okay. This is an important topic, and this is the topic in which we would like to read some of your thoughts and some of your takes on these topics or on this topic. So once again, we have been propagandized by the Ukrainian players, namely for this topic, Svitolina, snubbing handshakes. I think it kind of happened with her and Azarenka. Correct me if I'm wrong.
She didn't snub it. They know she's not going to shake anybody's hand. That's from Belarus or whatever, Belarus or Russian. You know this.
Now, for those of you that aren't active players or active fans and maybe have stumbled across this discussion just by sheer luck, what we're talking about is because of the Russian and slash Belarusian. I guess they're involved because the two countries are pretty close to one another in terms of friendliness, because of the Russian-Ukrainian war. As you all know, there's quite a meat grinder type conflict that's happening in Ukraine. And because of this, the Ukrainian players, Kostyuk namely, and Svitolina namely, have been snubbing handshakes in tennis. We shake hands at the net after you've been in warfare. You come and shake hands at the net, which in itself is ironic because here we are watching people play tennis at the highest level at Wimbledon of all venues, like one of the most prestigious, if not the most prestigious. I think sometimes people argue that, saying the French has been around nearly as long. Anyway, but here we are with something that is supposed to happen after the war, the match takes place, is you shake hands at the net, right? But we're snubbing the handshake, blowing it off because of what is happening geopolitically. All right. Anyway, I would love to read a couple of comments on your thoughts about this dilemma that we've been dealing with now for a long time, like a year and a half, right? Okay, Carla, I'm going to start with you. We've talked about it before. When you saw the article, not the match, we saw some of the match, but when you saw the article that indicated that Azarenka, Vika, was well aware that Svitolina was not going to shake hands with her, that she would just wave at her and would not approach the net as to not cause a scene. Well, because she did that, then Azarenka started getting the diss. So my thoughts of this multifactorial bunch of bullshit that we've been having to lap up like puppies in their water.
What do I think of it?
What are your thoughts?
I mean, obviously it's wrong, but I think Sabalenka went up to her at the French Open, knowing that Svitolina was not going to shake her hand. She just did it to test the waters, and they booed her anyways. I mean, it's a lose-lose situation for both. I think it's stupid because those players have nothing to do with the war, even if they're for it, Mm-hmm. It's a bad situation. I think that maybe the Tennis Federation should come up with the rule that if you don't shake hands, unsportsmanlike conduct It's what I would use. A sportsmanlike conduct, and you get fined every time you don't do it.
That would be a start.
To me, that would be the solution.
It would be a start.
Every match that you do not shake the player's hand or the umpire is unsportsmanlike conduct, and you'll get fined $10,000. Every match adds on another $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually hurt the pocket.
I mean, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, especially for those lower rank, Ukrainian players. Absolutely, I would start finding it. I would say, just like at clubs, you have if you invite a guest, it's $10. The next time it's $20, so that's now $30. So let's go 10, 15, 20. Adds up.
As some clubs out west, especially, and some in Southern Florida, you can't bring a guest at all. And if you do bring one, it's like $20, and the next time it's like 60.
That's what I'm just giving you an example. Let's say the first fine's 10, the next one's 15, the next one's 20, and
so fine them 10, 15,
after 3,
20.
Let's double it. Let's double to the 40s. Now, you got 20, 40, and it keeps going up. And through the whole year, in other words, it doesn't reset. It just keeps adding on. And I bet you they'll stop.
It exponents.
Yeah, I bet you they'll stop.
I think it's a great way to start. I wanted to ask this question as well. Does anyone think that in this example that Svitolina actually knows anything about the geopolitical history of that area in the first place?
Why wouldn't she?
I mean, she may or she may not, but I think if she was a knowledgeable human being and an open-minded one, I don't think she would snub the handshake. So I'm not going to get into geopolitics. We'll move forward. But I watched this video on Netflix last night, and it was World War II in color. Like they had black and white. It was
He's obsessed with this, by the way.
Anyway, I love military history. Anyway, but I didn't realize. I mean, I guess I'd heard a kind of a sprinkling thereof, but I didn't realize that after World War II, there was an agreement after World War II that really the Russians, I guess you could say, actually won it for everyone, because after they lost something like 2 million men and women, they finally were able to stop the German growth. Anyway, but after World War II, the agreement was between the West and the East, especially after the Soviet Union collapsed. So we're going to like 1992, correct me if I'm wrong. So we're going to fairly recently. So in 1992, the Soviet Union collapsed, and there was an agreement that NATO, the North Atlantic Trade Organization, whatever, would not continue to move eastward. Anyway, long story short is that agreement was broken, and finally it just came to the point where they had to do something about it. I'm not justifying anything, but all I'm getting at is Svitolina is a tennis player. They're at war at the net. And if you're wanting your country to have another country to be respectful, don't you think she should be respectful? Because don't you want to lead by example? Isn't it best to lead by example, right? If I go out on the court and play you in a match and I get pissed off and smash my racket and my kids are watching, what are they going to do? They're going to go out and smash their racket. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Anyway, lead by example, because Svitolina cost you, and most of the Ukrainian players look like dipshits. Okay? Have nothing. None of those players even live there, right? They might have a family member there, but they don't live there. I think we looked it up on Wikipedia.
There is one player, Stromska, her family lives there.
Okay.
They were leaving. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were leaving Ukraine when the war happened.
Yeah. Jose P says it great. Elena should have been the bigger person. Yeah, exactly. And again, I'm not.
Aren't you guys shocked she beat Swiatek? Yeah, shocked. Shocked she beat Azarenka too.
Do you think the propaganda and the mindset of that whole no handshake, the war, do you think that had anything to do with Swiatek losing? Now, Swiatek's Polish, right?
No, they shook hands.
But did they?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because she has to be from a different country.
She shakes everybody's hand except if you're a Belarusian.
That's right.
Russian.
Yeah. Now, Swiatek's Polish. Mm-hmm. Now, after World War II, after the collapse of the wall, I think, after World War II, like the Soviet Union took half of Poland, and then the West took the other half of Poland. And since then, it's stretched back out to Poland. So there's a lot of history here, and
I don't shake your hand because you're from everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Crazy. All right.
Dushan says, Svitolina is to know the real history of Ukraine. The name means a country at the border. Svitolina is to know the real history. So she knows the real history. I'm sure she does.
I guess it was kind of facetious question, but I mean, I understand that, but it just seems to me that with the millions of lives that have been lost there over, I mean, geez, thousands of years, I'm guessing, right?
Honestly,
that there would be some type of respect from
war is bad. Any war is bad. You can't justify the killings of many Ukrainians, and you can't justify the killings of many Russians or Belarusians.
Exactly.
It's all bad. They're all doing bad stuff to each other. Even when you watch the documentaries of the Ukrainians fighting and they're laughing at dead bodies, it's wrong.
It's wrong on
both sides, Justin.
Agree.
I mean,
okay.
For them to think that on both sides that it's okay for someone to die makes you think what kind of people they are.
So can I ask you an open-minded question, and anyone else out there?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that if you had Azarenka and Svitolina play, and they had a match, whatever, and after the match, they either A, snub the handshake and, bitch about it in the press conference, or B, what if they came to the net and united and gave each other a hug and waved both flags together?
Sure
which one do you think would have a better benefit?
Obviously that one.
Okay. Why
I don't understand that.
So why do we have countries when we're watching one of the biggest tournaments in all of sports? Why do we not show their flag when they should show it jointly and figure it out? Do you understand what I'm saying? That's all I'm getting at.
Because humans are dumb.
And what's another reason? Humans don't want to watch any shit that ain't bullshit, killing and whatever. Good news doesn't sell well, so Svitolina acts like the biatch, and she's selling. But I ain't buying her tickets.
Someone mentioned that she had fillers in her lips. Did anybody notice? Jose P says, let's Svitolina avoid the shaking Brabikina's hand from the Kazakhstan.
The table's well.
We're good, babe.
I was just telling you because I'm like,
okay, you probably look better that way.
Oh, well, thank you, man.
Shaking,
so I mean, I'm so bad off. I got to get blurry.
No, we're shaking. It looks like a dance. It looks like a dance. Doesn't it look like a dance? We're shaking.
I don't know. I would want to puke.
Okay.
All right, go back. Got it?
Yeah, I was just saying that Jose P said Wilson Lavina was shaking Brabikina's hand since she's from Kazakhstan.
Good point. So maybe because Kazakhstan was a former Soviet republic, she still might knock on. This is a good question. That's a good question.
Haven't they shaken hands before? I thought they have.
That's a good question, right?
Brabikina's from Moscow.
That's a good question, but I think she represents Kazakhstan just like some players play for Japan or something when they're from another country, just because they're giving them the money, like Sharapova playing for the U.S. when she's Russian, or do I have it backwards? Who are some players that played for a different country that flew a different country's flag just because they gave them the free ride? No, Bublik was Kazakhstan as well.
Yeah.
Who are some players that flew?
So you have, what's her name that went out with Kyrgios?
Tomljanovic?
She's Croatian.
And she played for Australia.
Yeah.
Okay, give me another one.
You got the girl that retired, that played for Great Britain, was actually from Australia, and that's who's the player that retired?
Oh! I can see her. She wore a visor all the time.
Yes, forgot her name.
Hold on. What's the name? Mike Walker. Is he out there? What's her name? What's the British girl's name? She was like the Andy Murray of the women's side. Maybe more like Tim Henman. Dang, it's gonna haunt my thoughts. Darn. Anyway, that's gonna haunt me though. I'm not gonna be able to be fluid until that happens. I'm going to read this comment from a name I haven't seen before. The name is
Kanta. Yeah.
Kanta. Who said that?
Ryan Mason.
Let's go, Ryan. Let's go. I'm going to read this comment from Amir Joker. I love the name. That's why I got my hat on. Remember, guys, when I said right after Novak lost to Medvedev that Novak will catch Margaret Court before Serena and Carla said no way. Okay, check this out. On the way home tonight, when it started raining at the club, we drove back here. And what did I say when we got over the bridge?
You said that he was going to catch up or something.
He was going to catch up with Margaret Court. Same brainwave, bro. Let's freaking go. All right, we're going to shift gears to that. Okay? I had this at the...
It looks like he is, right? So if he doesn't, will it be a shocker to you guys? I mean, it looks like he's played 4 sets against 2 opponents. If he doesn't, will you guys be shocked?
Sorry, I dropped my stuff, man.
I think his next opponent is Sinner.
Drop my stuff. Who?
For Djokovic.
No, Djokovic
Play
has.
Sinner next.
Does he have center?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a good match, but little boy center doesn't have quite enough goods
Yeah, the
to deal
Korda
with
thing.
that man.
The Korda thing, I never agreed with. I don't know why people. I think I said that on the first show. You guys are smoking crack.
For what?
Korda. Everybody's like Korda's the dark horse. I'm like, Korda doesn't even have a chance. He lost in the first round.
He's better than a lot of people.
Well, he lost in the first round.
Do you
he
think
was not better than Wawrinka? He was not better than many players.
Do you think he's top 20 in the world material?
No.
Okay,
I think he's kind of. He was getting there, and he's kind of backing. He's kind of backtracking.
Okay, all right, we're gonna play a little game here. By the way, the last show we did, I told Carla that Andy Murray would lose the Tsitsipas, and we'd have a friendly bet.
It was close. I almost got him.
I won the bet.
Too bad. They had a suspension of the match. Everything changed. He was up 2-1, Murray. The match was suspended, so they had to come back the next day. We know how it is when we get older. Take, your body tends to take you longer, and here you are going to start another match. How do you feel when you start? If you had to stop,
I feel dumber after having heard that excuse.
He's a slow starter, so older people, right? It takes us longer to start. Correct? He was up 2-1, came back the next day to play.
Okay.
Come on. Okay. How did you get dumber?
Now, next time you go to Las Vegas or Biloxi or Atlantic City or the local whatever bingo hall, and you lose, go up to the desk and say, "Hey, you know what? It was close, but it's I did it. I was tired."
What I'm saying to you is, I could have won that bet. Definitely
could have, would have, should have, but you lost.
Jose P says Sissy Pants is a disgrace to the top 5 player. Almost lost to a robotic hip.
Let's go.
Thank you.
El Robato.
Thank you. Van Lee says, I feel like this is a mommy grand slam.
El Robato. That's Tsitsipas' new nickname. It went from Sissy Boy, Sissy, and now it's El Robato.
Says, hell, I'll pray to God because the world may end if Djokovic does not win Wimbledon.
Let's go. True fan.
Van Lee says Djokovic is acting real cocky this year.
Good for him.
Environmental says, do you think that having the roof closed is part of the match, and then the roof open for the part because it's a shift? Yeah, it causes a shift. Some people can't play indoors. Some people can play better without the roof. I don't like indoors. I like playing in the elements. Do you know? I definitely think it changes everything.
Okay, let's talk about acoustics for a moment. Okay, acoustics. The kind of the resonation of sound in a particular venue or out of a particular speaker. In tennis, there's an acoustic or an acoustic rhythm. So, Carla, I'll bring you up on this one. Carla and I have used to frequent, and we still try to. We would frequent garage sales on the weekends. We'd get up really early, and we'd go to garage sales, and then we would find items that we felt we could resell for substantial or more money than what we paid for it. So there was one morning we were hustling at a garage sale. And there's people getting out of the cars and running everywhere. We get out of the car. We're trying to hustle to the garage sale because it just opened before anyone else could rummage through the stuff. We wanted first dibs, right? And we both stopped mid-run because we didn't see the tennis court. We didn't see the player, but we heard the sound of someone striking the ball very well. Right. So there's an acoustic. You can hear someone that's playing well. You don't necessarily have to see it. Right. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about grunting, for example, okay, with the women, they screech like a pig getting prodded with a cattle prod in their ass, whatever. God, shut up already. Anyway, I can't stand it in any way, shape, or form. But why do some players, if not nearly all of them, why are they trained to do so? Honestly, now I say this and I ask this question to her because there's someone, and I don't need to mention names, but there's someone that is a really good player and she helps train our kids, not mentioning names, but she grunts so bad I just want to throw up sometimes. But why, let me repeat, why did she tell us or you that she did it? Quote.
It affects the player. So
her opponent.
It psychs them out, so they think that she's going to hit a hard ball, but she hits a soft ball after it.
Yeah, let me tell you what. There was a video, and if someone can find it, I would love to hear it or love to see it. There was a video a long time ago on YouTube, maybe 10 years ago, and there was a player. I think honestly, it was an Iranian player, which is rare as is. And his opponent was grunting. The ball would have left this guy's racket, and when it's crossing that, he would go, blah. So the guy he was playing got so pissed off. He got up in his shit. He was like, "Shut up, get up, you blah." He got pissed, and then ultimately the guy that got pissed at the other guy that was grunting was kicked out of the tournament and lost the match. So are you telling me we have gotten to the point as we might as well start squealing like a stuffed pig every time we play, simply just to piss your opponent off, and if they can't deal with the intensity, then fuck off? That's how we're playing now. Redunculous. Kiss my ass. Grunt all day long. You sound like a freaking idiot. Shut up already. Damn. Azarenka, Schiavone. Give me some of the screeching champions of all time. Schiavone sounds like she's dying, getting her legs sawed off when she's hitting the ball. Sharapova, oh my God, she's hideous. Azarenka is awful. Hers is so high pitched it makes you just want to saw your freaking ear off. Freaking hate it. Anyway, you've heard me vent about this before. Not getting there again. Enough said. Shake your hands at the net. It's not Svitolina's fault. It's not Azarenka's fault that they're, arguing and battling over resources. They just were born there. They're doing their thing. You're playing a sport that's supposed to bring people together. Do us a favor. Bring your cat fights elsewhere because you look stupid. Okay. All right. Next topic. I'm going to give a drum roll for this one. The drums are beating. They're beating. Boom, 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 boom. The drums are beating for Novak Djokovic getting his 24th major. They're beating. Cymbals, hi-hats, the bass drum, the kick drum, snare. We are really going off on the drums. Are you feeling the drum beat? Are you feeling the drum beat? And Novak gets his 24th?
It's his to lose.
Okay. Now, what did you just say? Can you repeat that, Carla?
It's his to lose.
Can you say that one more time?
It's his to lose.
It's who's to lose?
His to lose.
Okay.
I feel like he has the game to win it, right? I always said that he has a better chance on grass than on clay. Well, he did it on clay this year. Mm-hmm. So I would find it very tough for any player to beat him on grass. Someone asked you Carlitos or Rune. I think Rune has a better chance to mess with his mind a little bit.
Okay.
Than Carlos, because he's beaten him before. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when you go in with an opponent that's beating you, you doubt yourself. Mm-hmm. But if if the opponent's beating you, then you have the belief. And if you're young, then you got nothing to lose. But I think it's his to lose. Yeah.
Before I make this comment, let me remind everyone of a really important quote. Ready for this quote? Mm-hmm. There are two ways of arguing with a woman, but neither one works. Let me repeat that. There is two ways of arguing with a woman, but neither one works. How do I say that? Because you might say one thing one day and they argue with you about it, and then when you realize when you're right, then they say I never said that in the first place. That's Carlo. That's Carlo.
He's playing good.
This is Carlo. Okay.
He's playing good. I don't see him playing bad. Do you think he's playing bad?
Okay.
I said if he played bad, then that's on him. That's what I said. That's what I said on the first show. If he plays bad, that's on him. But he's not playing bad. He's playing actually good. Don't you think?
I do.
Like when Rafa was in that 2010 US Open, I don't know, he was playing good. He looked unstoppable, and that's what Djokovic looks like.
Djokovic didn't even play 100% today, but beat Rublev.
How do you know? You didn't even watch the match.
I guess, when we work all day and we don't have, highlights don't do it any justice.
You didn't watch the match.
Okay.
Did he play?
Do I have to watch the crowd clapping?
Did he play 80%? Because Justin likes to
85.
Put 80% of his stats.
85%.
Oh, now he played 85%.
Look,
that's
okay. In the chat, put a number 1 if you think Djokovic played at 100%. Put a 2 if you think Novak Djokovic did not play at 100%. I guarantee you there's more 2s.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
Does anyone play at 100%, Justin?
Yeah, I think Rublev played at 100%. He still lost.
No one plays at 100%. It's impossible. We're not perfect.
Well, duh.
So then no one plays at 100%.
So you're boy Nadal.
So you're telling me they won every single point. That's 100%.
I'm getting dumber now.
No, I'm getting dumber listening to you.
Part of the game is making mistakes. That's part of it.
An A in tennis is 70% and up. That's an A in tennis.
Of what? First serve percentage?
On everything. Hitting,
all right.
Everything. You say that to your students. If you're at 70%, do you not say this?
Yes.
Then you are A in tennis.
Yes.
Thank you.
But I'm talking about first serve percentage.
No. A is 70% in tennis. If you look at all the matches, all the great matches, and you look at the percentage, you'll see 70%. That means they were on their A game that day.
Okay. Last show. And again, apologies. It's been 8 days. We used to do this every day and then every other day, even when we still taught every day.
We work.
Okay.
all day.
Okay. So Dushan 2, Jose P 75%. That would make
That's an A.
Okay. That would be an A.
80% is an A.
Big balls A.
60%
sluggish
the
first set.
Duh.
Okay. In the first set though.
Okay, duh. We ebb and flow, like you say. We ebb and flow in the matches.
Pretty good. I like that. I like that. Ebb and flow.
Eleanor says, Carla, women return to competitive tennis after having kids. Is it best to wait or get back ASAP? Get back ASAP. And the women's tennis field is kind of.
Hold on. Whoa. Slow down real quick right there. Ellie, are you expecting?
No, she's asking about Osaka just had her baby.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was going to say congratulations and send you a baby racket. Anyway, okay, go back to Osaka.
I think they should get back immediately. But I think because the women's field is a week, I feel like players like Wozniacki can come back. And players
No.
okay, no.
Wozniacki got lucky and won that U.S. Open just by sheer luck, honestly.
She didn't win the U.S. Open. She
or
won
Australian,
the Australian
whatever,
Open.
hardcore.
She did not get lucky because she worked hard for it.
Well, no, but she got lucky. She won it, though.
Got lucky.
Who?
Raducanu.
Who? Raducanu who?
Don't say that Wozniacki. She worked for it.
Who? Raducanu what?
Anyway.
Raducanu who? I don't know who you're talking about. I forgot about who that is. Okay, now last show, you can watch it. You can go back to it, and to start out the show.
Go get clean clothes over there. Baby.
Okay, yeah. To start out the show, I indicated that the only person that could beat Novak Djokovic in this Wimbledon was Djokovic himself. Carla called me crazy. She was like, "You crazy?"
Not if he's playing at 60. I told you he has to. Obviously, he's playing good. I think he's playing good, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not if he was playing at 60%, he's going to lose.
All right. Does anyone have anything they want to object to about Novak Djokovic winning his 8th Wimbledon to tie Roger Federer and winning his 24th major to tie Margaret Court, even though that Margaret Court thing was beaten by Serena because like a handful of Margaret Court's majors were not really considered valuable because no one used to play them. Carla and I, we were talking random on the way home today, and we both love Pete Sampras, right? One-handed backhand, classic player, the last real dominant, consistent champion, unless you throw in Agassi or Curry or whatever, even though I never cared for him in the first place. But how am I going to put this into words, right? I don't know. But Novak Djokovic to tie Roger Federer to get his 24th, even though Serena should be already past it because the likes of Pete Sampras, that's where I was going with that, didn't play it for the most part, right? Does he get his 24th? Now, also, the drums are beating for him to get his calendar year Grand Slam, holding all 4 majors in a row within the same calendar year. Now, a couple of players, I think Federer did the same, I think Nadal might have, I can't remember. I know he won the U.S. Open one year, then the Australian, French, I don't know. Anyway, I think people have won more of the 4 majors and not the consecutive year. Maybe started with, the French, won the U.S. and then, didn't run the gauntlet all 4, right? The last 2 people on the men's side, correct me if I'm wrong, to do this was Rod Laver twice. I think he did it in 62 and 69. And then Don Budge, I think, did it in 1938, right? Steffi Graf did it, in 1992? When did Steffi Graf do it? 92?
I think she won the Olympic gold medal, too.
So that would be, what do they call that? The Golden Slam. That's where they win all 4 majors and the Olympics in the same year. Mm-hmm. And that's extremely difficult because you can't pick the year that you win the Olympics because it only happens every 4. And by the way, tennis didn't.
Cindy?
Who?
Is that Cindy? How are you, Cindy?
Let's go.
Fitness trainer, Cindy? We told her about the show today.
Oh, she must be just catching on to it now, though, because Cindy says, agreed, Andy Murray would have taken if the match would have not been suspended. So we talked about that earlier. So she's catching up. You'll catch this later.
It changes everything.
Look, I call a spade when a spade pops up. Negative, Ghost Rider. No way. That's why I said it before the show started, and that's why I won my bet. Now, by the way, can I ask you guys a question here and answer it honestly? Because this involves Carla doing something on air while we're doing this. Carla lost the bet.
I won other bets. So you haven't
okay.
anything.
Carla lost the bet. Okay. So what I'm asking you guys is we will definitely be doing another show before Wimbledon ends, based upon our schedule, it might be the day after the final or the day of the final, which will be Djokovic holding the trophy. Let's go, like Demo. But I want to know what Carla should do as the price she pays for losing that bet. Okay. Let me tell you a couple things.
First of all, we didn't agree to that. That was one.
I can pull it up and play it.
But you said we have a bet and we'll decide. You didn't say what the bet was, so don't even go there because I've won many bets. What have you done?
Man, I wore a dress on this show before.
That was different. That was
How
from
was
them.
that different?
The bet was from them, not from me. What have you done for my bets?
I've worn a dress.
That wasn't my bet.
Do you remember you made me do it with my shirt off and tattoos out?
That's not true.
That's true.
No, you wanted to take off your shirt.
No, you made me. You said I had to.
You wanted to show your Roger.
Yeah. What should Carla do? Put it in the comments. Right. It can't be anything lewd or lascivious or Latinization of hotness. It can't be that.
That's incredible that you haven't done my bets.
Well, what bet did you win?
We didn't agree to anything. I lost the bet, but we never agreed to anything.
I asked them on the show what we should do.
Oh, now you're asking them.
I did. I got it. I got it recorded.
I know I lost the bet. So convenient, but you said the bet will decide.
I got it recorded, Carlita.
We'll decide.
Got it recorded.
Now you're letting them decide.
Yeah, because that's what I said in the first place. I said, let's have a friendly bet. I can play. I think it's around. Look,
let's have a friendly bet.
I'm not going to play it here, but I'm telling you.
Did you say let them decide?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to play. That's what I'm showing you. Yes, I did.
Such BS.
I promise you.
Such BS.
That you want to bet on that?
Let's bet on that.
You want to bet on that?
You said we will decide.
So double or nothing on that? All right, don't lock that in. All right, so I'm not gonna. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, it's around 20 minutes, 22. I tell you what. Here's.
I said we are the bet and we'll decide. I didn't say the crowd. You guys decide. Never said that. Here's
the prize giveaway of today. We always do one every day. Here's the prize giveaway. And by the way, if Alani is out there, we have your hat. We got that's you're in Texas. We got everything set, but because of the past 4 or 5 days, we really haven't quite stopped. And getting to the post office has been, I'm not making excuses, I promise. We're going to give it to you, or send it to you rather. But Alani won the last giveaway, okay? So here's the one for today, okay? Right off the top, straight up freestyle, right out of the head, okay? Whoever can find the part of the video of the last show will either send a 5K tennis shirt, a 5K tennis hat, 5K tennis visor, or 2 sets of Y-Tech strings, 2 sets of Diadem strings, Diadem, the company. Some people are new to that, and they're a really fine company, or the same amount of money in cash. Plain enough, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, whatever, but we're not going to drop a check in the mail and send it to Lithuania. We've done that before. No disrespect to Lithuanians, but nothing ends up happening
and
very
well. And you will
well.
find that I didn't say, hey, the bet's going to be you guys decide.
Yeah, but if someone can find that.
I said we'll decide.
I listened to it this morning. I know. That's why I'm so confident.
That's why I'm confident.
Okay, well, you were dead wrong.
So double or not, that means if you're
double
wrong,
or not. If I'm wrong, you don't have to do it.
Thank you.
Lock it in. If not, you're going to hell in a handbasket because she's going to be all over the place. She might come up here wrapped up like a mummy because she around 20 minutes in. It's around 20 minutes. I listened to it this morning. I did. Okay. All right. Novak Djokovic winning all 4 majors this year. Carla, for the past few times, I think he's done this kind of like once or twice before. Carla would always say, what's going to elude him after winning the first 3 is winning the U.S. Open. Carla, in a nutshell, tell us why you continue to state that Novak Djokovic cannot win all 4 because the end of the year, you've got the U.S. Open. And she's from New York.
I don't think, because I think I've said this with Darius, the crowd is the worst in New York.
Explain. What does this have to do with?
They're rowdy. They get in his head. By the time he gets there, he feels the pressure. I feel like the underdog always has a better chance here. You know, they always root for the underdog. This is the toughest slam to win.
Why?
It always has been. The crowd picks the favorite. And
the end of the year, we get a little tired.
Correct.
Sometimes in New York, it gets really hot.
That's what I'm saying. You get tired. Yeah.
Sometimes at Arthur Ashe Stadium, a swirling wind occurs.
Yeah.
Sometimes at Ashe Stadium,
they don't like him in New York. On top of that.
Yeah. Now.
They liked him.
Now, with that said, has Novak
tournament for me? Finally said, why is Jay so sure about Djokovic Sunday?
Oh, the finals? Because I'm very confident that he's by leaps and bounds the best player in the tournament. I don't think someone's going to get lucky and beat him on his goal to tie Roger. You guys know I love Roger. Huge fan, but I really feel like he finally wants to be separated.
He is separated.
But all of the above. Obviously, he's not going to get 29 million French Opens, but he has a really good chance to go ahead and get that 8, to get his 24th to tie Margaret, roll into the U.S. Open, and be the undisputed GOAT between sexes.
That's not going to happen.
Okay.
New York is tough. I just feel like that crowd is just brutal. Did anybody hear about Nadal?
He's practicing. He's practicing. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little too early, I think, to
maybe
call him.
He's just practicing light, or maybe that's what they're just saying.
Staying tennis ready, maybe.
Maybe they're just saying that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just what his uncle wants us to think.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's important to be tennis ready. But we talked about Nick Kyrgios last show, and we were talking about the difference between practiced and match ready. Match ready, you've been in the thick of it recently. You've made decisions on the fly. When you practice and you drill, you're, I hope anyway, swinging freely. If you pout during practice, you're a buffoon and wasting time. However, when you play, the mindset is that if I'm match ready, I've played some matches, I'm confident, I've worked out issues before, I've been through a tiebreaker. If you're not match ready, winning a tiebreaker is almost impossible, right? But if you're match ready, then you've kind of problem solved recently. The thing is with tennis, if you haven't played matches, not points with your coach, not hitting with your best friend, but if you haven't played a match against an adversary, then you're not tennis ready. For Nick Kyrgios, not only is he not tennis ready, he wasn't physically ready, right? And we called this in the last show. Nick Kyrgios, okay, maybe he has a shot, but because he's not tennis ready, he wouldn't have a great shot.
Right.
Okay. Now, Novak Djokovic currently is the type of player that can take a little time off and maybe not be as match ready as everyone else, but because an 85% Djokovic can beat 100% Rublev, which happened today,
I didn't even think Rublev.
Then who's going to beat him?
Honestly,
that's why I'm so confident.
I didn't think Rublev would even take a set. I'm shocked that he took a set.
Well, Hurkacz took a set too.
That wasn't shocking because Hurkacz has done that before.
The rain delay. Forget about the rain delay, right? And let's not forget, today, was it Vondrousova? Wasn't it Vondrousova today that played Jessica Pegula?
Why do you keep looking way up there? The camera's right there.
I don't know, because I used to think it was up there. Okay, so this is a heartwarming moment here. So today, Marketa Vondrousova beat Jessica Pegula. Yeah, the same Pegula, heiress to the Buffalo Bills and what are the Buffalo Sabres hockey team and all these hand creams, whatever. Yes, she's loaded. She's a billionaire. Anyway, she still can fight, so forget about that. But Vondrousova was down 4-1 and a break point to go down 5-1, and then the rain came. Blame it on the rain. Yeah. You got to blame it on something. Vondrousova blamed it on the rain, but in a good way, yeah. Because Vondrousova talked to her husband during the rain break, and her husband said, keep fighting, baby. Keep fighting. You got this, girl. Love you. Keep fighting. And she came back. She whipped that ass. She came back from down 4-1, and she won the set. Let's go. Now, my question is for Carlita here, a.k.a. Pocahontas, India, native to this.
All right, whatever. Just
okay.
Ask my question.
My question is, Carla, if I called you down 4-1 and I said, hey, you got this, baby. Keep fighting. Give you a big hug. Would you get motivated?
Of course. Anybody would.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. That's fair enough. Set you up for that. Anyway, I hope so.
Anybody would get it. Of course, if your husband or dad or mom or coach, you would get pumped up, of course.
Roses are red and violets are blue. I get ultra motivated when I'm next to you. Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Sister
Come on.
Queen said, ha, blame it.
Oh, Sister Queen's out there. My poetic justice lady right there. Sister the Queen is amazing. Freaking amazing, girl. Good to see you. How's your mom and your travels in California, by the way? Telling you, she's my poetic partner. Okay? Do big things with her. Big things. Okay, who did Novak Djokovic lose to the last time he was on the cusp of the U.S. Open? Medvedev, right?
Yeah, Medvedev was in the final when he could have tied Nadal, I think.
Yep. Besides Medvedev and Alcaraz, is there anyone else in the draw?
He didn't even get to play Alcaraz.
Okay. Just saying, besides, is there anyone else that you feel that is a danger to him besides himself? We've said
Rune, we've heard Brune, whatever.
How about Eubanks? How about Eubanks?
Maybe because he's got nothing to lose, but he's got to be Medvedev first.
How about Eubanks?
Maybe Sinner can do it. I don't know.
Okay. You know what's a pretty interesting fact, though? As Eubanks and Medvedev are both 27. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's right. Eubanks is 6'7", and Medvedev is 6'6". Am I right? They're both tall, thin, agile for the most part, and they both have kind of come into their own as not just a serve bot. And you know the definition of a serve bot. It's like Isner or Opelka or Karlovic. Anyway, do you feel like either Medvedev or Eubanks is quote unquote a serve bot? Right? Do you think that Medvedev and Eubanks can win if they don't serve well, kind of like Novak Djokovic? Djokovic can, or not like Novak Djokovic. Djokovic cannot necessarily serve well, but beat you because he's so limber, so flexible, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think Medvedev or Eubanks could beat Djokovic if they don't serve well. Right? There's some serve bots in these guys. And Medvedev is still suspect at the net. He's gotten better. He's gotten better at the net. But when you're playing Djokovic, he can exploit every spot that you don't like to play. Now, fast forward to something you told me about. B-Dog, Bobby Harris, what's up, my brother? But B-Dog is a big New England Patriots fan. Okay? Now, why do I bring this up? You told me that someone was videoing Novak Djokovic's practice with his coaches. Someone was creeping around.
Dad.
Okay. So Carlos Alcaraz's dad, word is, has been going to Novak Djokovic's practices and filming the practices. Well, if you do that in the NFL, you're going to get suspended or worse. I mean, even though Tom Brady got away with it, not Tom Brady, but the Patriots organization. So do you have any problem with someone videoing someone else's practice? Because I personally do not. I don't have a problem with it, right? If you have to go and film every shot that I hit as a way to beat me, that means you're really worried about me. That means I think I have you psychologically, right? If you want to tell me, hey, come film me, bro, be like, what's up? Give you a little poem for Sister the Queen right in your face, okay? But I'm not going to worry about it, right? I'm not going to worry about it.
Then why is Djokovic complaining about
Oh,
it?
wait, I don't think he's really complaining. I think he's just letting people know.
There's a lack of privacy, he said.
I mean, you know, he's kind of the last person that you want to piss off before a match.
There's no privacy.
Because he's gonna make that energy even better because of that.
He's not scream. Don't piss him off because he's gonna scream at his crowd, not at his crowd,
box.
at his box. You don't want his poor box getting all that, you know.
Yeah, I tell you what, you get Djokovic pissed off, he might bagel you. O. Hey, okay. Anyway, by the way, shout out to her catch for winning a set. Off Djokovic, even though it was a rain delay the next day type thing.
Van Lee said, Carla, how many months do you give
Tsitsipas
Tsitsipas and Badosa? I give them until Christmas.
Ooh, that's a poll question.
Agreed. You know, after looking at her picture, she's not very pretty, by the way. Yeah, I give him. He catch it.
Hey, man. Huh? Do you remember when he was 6 weeks old? Big boy now.
Yeah.
Oh, big boy.
Maybe we need to put a tennis racket in your hand. You might beat Djokovic.
All right, Subby. Welcome to make the appearance. Oh, he's a big one. He's a big one. He's a big one. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Who asked the question about Badosa's time frame?
Did you see the video? Someone sent me a video. It was hilarious. I sent it to
Who asked that question?
Van Lee.
Oh, Van Lee. Van Lee, my brother. Look at this, what I had written down. All right. I don't know if you can read it, but it's at the top of this page right here. How long does Tsitsipas and Badosa last? And I even have it written A, B, C, D, and E. See it? See, man, this Van Lee's my man.
Here's the video.
He's my man.
Look at Badosa's face.
She looks strung out.
She's not pretty.
No, she's pretty.
She might be pretty in a thong, but her face.
Yeah, there you go.
She looks smackable. Like you can smack her.
Man,
Look at her face. She's looking at She's looking at Tsitsipas. I thought it was Djokovic's dad for a second. Look at her giving him the dirty look.
Shoot, I'll tell you what. It's pretty hot.
No.
Okay.
That's pretty hot.
So Van Lee, this is a Van Lee shout out poll question. Because Van Lee asked the question that I wrote here a little while ago, same brainwave. Let's go, Van Lee. Here's the question. And can you poll this, please, so I can get some votes on it, please? Because you can type really well. And me,
again?
okay. This is pretty straightforward. Okay, here's the poll question. Answer this one. All right. How much longer will Tsitsipas and Badosa be a pair? A, less than 6 months. Okay. B, greater than 6 months. C, longer than Vekic and Wawrinka. D, less than Kyrgios and Tomljanovic. Or E,
That's too
Eka.
many. I can't do
No,
that.
yeah, you'll get it.
I can't do that many.
Sissy ass, I like that. Okay, oh, that's fine. And Badosa last, yeah. So
Which
yeah,
one?
no,
What was one?
okay, yeah, you got options. So the first one is less than 6 months. So you can put a less than sign. Okay, less than 6 months. Second option, greater than 6 months. Okay. Third option, C is in Charlie. Longer than Vekic and Wawrinka. Okay. She's a good typer. D as in Delta, less than Kyrgios and
That's all I
Tomljanovic.
can do.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Finish that. But my let me tell you at least what my final answer was, because I thought you had 5, like a multiple choice test. Okay, my final answer before you hit submit, because I'll start voting there. If you think it's this last answer, put 5s in the chat, the number 5. Okay, so you got A, B, C, D. If you think it's E, put 5s in the chat. Okay, E is about the same time as Dimitrov and Sharapova or Dimitrov and Serena Williams. That's a stumper. That's a problem solver. 72% of you. 72% of you. And there was a lot of votes. 72% of you said Djokovic would win this.
Only
US
11 votes.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's not a lot.
And she finds that negative everywhere she goes.
It's only 11 votes. How do you say that's a lot?
It could be like a beautiful
That's
rainbow.
11
and
votes.
You'd be like, man, there's a crow over there on that phone pole.
Oh my God. Carla and Serena have similar taste in men. What? No, we don't. I don't like Reddit guy. No way.
Dimitrov?
I don't like Dimitrov. Never liked Dimitrov.
Well, I guess someone's insinuating him. You know, I think Dimitrov's a handsome man.
I like Fusovic. I like Burdage.
Let's go, Van Lee. Let's freaking go, bro.
Who's the other one?
Let's go. Same process. But Van Lee, you got to answer the question. Van Lee especially has to answer the question.
It will last. Stop streaming.
It will last. Stop. So they're taking it to the baby crib, and they're an item like Agassi and Steffi.
Mark Taggart is annoying.
And Mark Taggart is a good coach, yes, but he's kind of
good looking.
He's good looking, but he's kind of full of himself.
I don't like that.
Yeah, like when he's advertising for his coaching, it shows videos of him playing and not the coaching. When look, there's many times in history where I've heard the best coaches say you can tell more about a coach by looking at his children than by watching himself play.
Van Lee's car, like, give me the lady's perspective. She broke up with the Cuban model boyfriend and went to Stefanos. Did she level up?
Yes.
She leveled down.
Because Cubans can be assholes.
No, he was a model.
Oh, Cubans can be assholes. You know that too.
You only know one Cuban.
He's an asshole.
He leveled. She went down. He was better looking. She went down.
Okay. Historically, who is more of an asshole type mindset? The Cubans with Fidel running shit, or the Greek over there in the middle of the Mediterranean?
That's so messed up.
It's true.
Because there's Cubans that don't agree with communism. That's terrible. That was a terrible
well,
idea.
Anyway, Cubans, you know, because you know one very well.
One
can be
guy
big time assholes.
Ex-door neighbor.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. No. I know many.
You got to read between the lines right there.
No, I feel like Badosa's trying to get back at him. I agree.
So they both lost, though.
Last year, they posted a pig naked in the bed. Yeah, and now you were Tsitsipas or Sissy-ass.
So do you think if Tsitsipas and Badosa had never met and crossed paths, do you think Tsitsipas or Badosa would still be in the tournament? They both lost.
They both suck.
So it doesn't matter whether or not they're,
No, I don't think it has to do with that. I think that Tsitsipas needs to figure out the dad thing. And I think Badosa's, I was never impressed with her tennis. It was COVID year. Everybody was hot during COVID year.
And she took some pictures during COVID.
Everybody was hot.
And tight dresses
Van Lee says, Badosa's not cute to me. Very frumpy. Ironic, both her parents are models. Yeah, I don't think she's pretty. Like, beautiful face. Like, like they say she's hot. I think, like, Ivanovic, I give you guys credit on that. I think Sharapova had a beautiful face. When you look at Badosa, to me, she has the body, but it's not even a bam, boom, bada beam. There's ladies with better bodies than that. She looks like platypus to me. Just saying.
Would you agree or disagree that Ana Ivanovic, the Serbian player,
Sabatini's gorgeous.
would
Same.
okay? Would you agree with me that Ana Ivanovic is one of, if not the
Sabatini beats her.
most beautiful tennis player of all
Sabatini
time?
beats her at the age of 50. She looks phenomenal.
Okay.
Ivanovic at the age of 40 something, 41, after kids, looks like the life's been sucked out of her.
I don't know. Ana Ivanovic,
But here's a Kornikova. Kornikova still looks the same.
So this is a picture of
has a bunch of injections.
This is a picture of Ana Ivanovic
when she was in her 20s.
and tennis attire
in her 20s.
at Wimbledon, mind you.
In her 20s.
Okay.
In
So
her 20s. And go put Sabatini in her 50s.
Okay.
She beats her.
Wimbledon attire. Now I'm going to go to Sabatini.
To each his own, but Badosa is not like they say hot. I mean, she wouldn't be with Sissy Potts.
Now, by the way, Gabriela Sabatini, just because I'm saying Ana Ivanovic is much more beautiful than Gabriela Sabatini, the only reason why I'm telling you this now is because we named our
I'm not saying that
we named our 4th out of 5 children after Gabriela Sabatini, and I put it on my arm. See, it says right here.
It's not that one is more beautiful than the other.
Gabriela.
I mean, we all have our opinions. Like, I might think someone's hot and someone's not. But
Gabriela. So?
Badosa to me is just not. Sivakova to me.
Let me find Sabatini. Wimbledon. Sabatini, Wimbledon, right?
Just look at her 50s.
Sabatini.
Look at her 50s.
I'm going to go Wimbledon because that's what I showed. Okay. Let me find Sabatini, Wimbledon. Here we go. Sabatini, not
I'm just saying, thank you, Bentley. I mean, I'm just saying there's but there's so many players out there that are.
All right. So you just saw Ivanovic. Now here's Sabatini.
She's very beautiful. She had a beautiful face. She looked like a little doll.
Okay. I need to somehow find a way to make sense of what you guys are talking about. Sabatini's beautiful. Love her. I named my daughter after her. However, you cannot tell me that Sabatini is more beautiful than Ivanovic. It's just. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
Let's look at Ivanovic in her 40s.
Okay. But that was Sabatini when she was in like the Wimbledon semis or something.
Let's compare her to 40s and now Mama. She looks like the husband sucks the life out of her.
She's hot.
She looks like she's very.
But Ivanovic.
Nobody.
Ivanovic.
She lost her body. Sabatini in her 50s.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to my Ivanovic picture.
Sabatini in her 50s.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to find this and we're going to compare.
Sabatini in her 50s doesn't look like she's been sucked dry.
Okay. All right. I'm going to do the slideshow.
They're both beautiful. Why are we even doing this?
Okay. Ivanovic. Let me expand on this vibrant thing. Okay. Ivanovic. Hey, how are you? Okay. Now let me go to Sabatini. You can't tell me. You cannot tell me, even though she's a beautiful girl, but you cannot tell me A, B. 1, 2. All right. Anyway, how long do they last? I don't know how the poll question it up. Do Badosa and Tsitsipas last more than 6 months from now, less than 6 months from now, longer than Donna Vekic and Stanislaus Wawrinka, less than...
It says 50%. 50%.
Okay, so it's tied between less
10
months.
votes only.
All right, that's still a pretty good poll. Yeah. Thank you. It's a good population to, get the thesis in the bag. Okay, next topic. How far can Eubanks go? How far can Chris Eubanks go, right? He beat Tsitsipas, okay? We just talked about that Tsitsipas has been distracted because of Badosa dunk-a-dunk. So how far can Eubanks go? Well, what type of shot does he have versus Medvedev? Let's be serious about it. I get it's a Cinderella story, but would you...
Has he played Medvedev before?
Let's look that up. Has Medvedev ever played Eubanks? That's a great question, but I don't think even if you do look that up and they've played 27 times before, if so, I don't think that you can gel that into the past. I mean, he's at the quarterfinals of Wimbledon. He has nothing to lose. He said it himself that he feels like he's swinging freely for once. He's not so stressed out. And now here he is. He has nothing to lose. So what would have to happen for Eubanks to beat Medvedev in the next match? Play at 1,000,000%, even though most human beings can only play up to, say, 90, 95, 100. Would he have to be superhuman to beat Medvedev, or does he have a chance?
He doesn't have to be superhuman. Many have beaten Medvedev before.
Good point.
He would have to be superhuman to be Djokovic. Definitely not superhuman to be Medvedev. He's beatable.
Okay. Eubanks, by the way, played for Georgia Tech, which isn't too far from here. Has a really good story. It really does. If Eubanks serves 90% first serve percentage. Now, mind you, Eubanks is 6'7". He's like Isner. He's a serve bot, but tends to win games more decisively than 7'6", 7. Isner, Opelka, these guys. Opelka's a has-been, by the way. He's been dealing with being 27 feet tall, discomfort. Anyway, but Eubanks has a little, I think, more to offer than John Isner. The question is, will his serve consistently be as good or better than John Isner, right? Isner is one of the best serves of all time. The only problem is he's so tall, he doesn't move very well. So he ends up being like most American players. They got a serve or a big one and then a forehand, but not much else. Eubanks, I think, has more than that. And this day and age, I think that 27 is the new 17. When we were young, we watched the likes of Capriati or Martina Hingis or Michael Chang, coming in and winning majors at Boris Becker at 16, 17, 18 years old. Or Nadal, cough him in there. 17? Wasn't Nadal 17? Or was he 19? Anyway, but the 27 now seems to be of when you and I were growing up, is the new 17. So let's look at Djokovic's age just for a second. So Djokovic is 36. Okay. Medvedev is the same age, 27. Now, how many years have we heard about something called the next gen? How many years? How many? A freaking long time. I remember when Tiafoe was in the next gen discussion. I remember when Borna Coric was in the next gen discussion. And now we're talking about who? Huh? Who are you talking about? Okay, they were in the same discussion. I remember when Rublev was in the next gen conversation. What other people can you throw in the next gen conversation? Don't we remember Jack Sock, of all people, being in the next gen conversation? Now he's like, Jack Sock, who? Huh? Who? Shapovalov, where? Who the what? If you're not a Demonor, what? Who? Talking about Willis. Anyway, all I'm getting at is next gen who? Now, I read an article today. I was laughing at this. I almost ran into the damn pole because I was so hilariously laughing at this stuff. Okay. Oh shit, I might have deleted it. No, I can find it. I can find it. I could
kill him pickleball, promise you.
Who?
Jack Sock is killing it. I was talking to one of my friends who's
pickleball's a joke. Okay.
Who has an academy in California. And and she was talking about pickleball. She's like,
she learned pickleball in 2 minutes and then beat everyone that was a pro there. 2 minutes. Thought that was funny. Okay, no, but she said it herself. Pickleball is for people that can't play tennis anymore. They can't move very well.
Yeah, she said the same thing. It's great.
It's good for people that can't.
And people that they just want to do a hobby. Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
We're just being facetious. It's a great little sport, but it's really noisy. It makes the tennis players pretty much mad. And I
heard that
even people that teach it, and we met one just this past weekend, said it himself that it's to play at high levels. There's people that just quite didn't make it in tennis.
Well, the other thing is that orthopedics, and I know quite a few that are saying that it's causing a lot of injuries, actually.
Yeah, and what was the reason? Yeah, some type
because of the stop and stuff. So a lot of stopping.
All right, what's his name? Bellotti. I'm gonna give Bellotti a shout out right here. Okay, so a friend of ours, Alexander, and he lives in Florida. He's a tennis pro there. And don't be mad at me. I love you. Know that he's a fine coach, fine player himself, and has a wonderful son that he's taught very well. And you can tell a lot about a coach by looking at their kids. If you're paying a coach to teach your children and that coach's children are just awful, then you need to think about who's teaching your children, because if they're your children, I think that you should do everything under the sun to do whatever you can for them without equivocation. Anyway, but this is his picture. Next gen. Okay, soak that in. How many years have we heard next gen, starting out with Tiafoe and Shapo and all these people? Now the next gen pitch is Holger Rune, Carlos Alcaraz, and Jannik Sinner. We were talking about these guys 4 years ago, right? 3 years ago, right? But they're next gen. All I know is Novak Djokovic lurking. They're all has been and not next gen. Just saying. Okay. So anyway, getting to the end, how good does Eubanks do? How far does Eubanks get? Is this as far as he can get? Medvedev takes him down.
Mm-hmm.
How badly or how close?
4 sets.
You don't think Eubanks will pull off that Cinderella story, best of 5, take him down 7-6 in the 5th?
Could happen.
Good. Okay. By the way, this is just a random thing that has to do with climate change. I'm not getting into that here. I'm not getting into that. It's not like, some debatable thing for me. I'm too dumb to figure that out. But it has been incredibly hot in this area of the United States. So we live in Alabama on the Gulf Coast, and we're used to heat. But this past summer especially has been well into the 110, 115 heat index for a while. And usually the rain doesn't come till like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And now it's flooding us out at like 10, 11 in the morning. How real is climate change? Now, I don't want to debate it. I'm not, left or right on the debate, but how real is it? Is it affecting you in your part of the world? I'm curious. We saw something the other day about flooding in India, respectively. What's up, Rajesh Kumar? A wonderful friend of ours, India. We see the flooding and we're like, hey, well, I hope Rahash's family is good to go. But anyway, your thoughts on that? What part of the world are you in? If you're in Africa or South Africa, Gene Swart, or Europe, or anyway, if you're there, who's in Poland? Patrick. I was thinking of his username. What's his username? Casper. Yeah. How are you guys? What's up with Wayne Chia? Have we heard from Wayne Chia in Singapore in a while? Hopefully Wayne Chia is good. But how is the climate affecting you? And is it just another day, another year, or is it noticeably worse? Because it's been a lot hotter this year that I can remember. We've coached for 23 years and played our whole life. I don't quite remember as drenching early summer as it is now. And maybe it's just that we're getting older.
No, I do feel the heat is stronger.
Anyway, before we close this out, let's revisit the idea that Carlos Alcaraz's father is recording Novak Djokovic's practice. Is that a problem for you, Carla, and why?
No, because we do the same thing when our kids are playing
Yeah,
matches.
well, exactly.
Not reporting, but we're scouting them.
Yeah, exactly. When we go to a tournament, and I plan to do that this weekend, 2 of our 3 kids, I wish it was 3, but that's your call. But anyway, 2 of our 3 kids are playing a tournament. So when I check them in for their matches, I'm not so worried about if they win or lose. I know they'll try hard. If not, then, we'll figure it out and go practice later. We'll work on it. But I'm more worried about what their next opponent may be like. So I'm watching the next opponents. Do they have a forehand? Do they have a backhand? Can they serve? Can they hit spots? Do they know what they're doing? If they have a drop shot or a short ball, can they put it away? Can they put volleys away? Can they hit overhead? Well, I'm looking for that weakness so I can tell my kids or students what to go for. Now, we should find this out during the warm-up. Okay. Hey, how are you doing, Carla? Nice to meet you. Okay. Nice to meet you. You want up or down? What you want?
Up.
Okay. Up. You want the toss. You want to serve? Okay, go ahead. Go to the service line. I'm thinking this now. I'm thinking, let me hit this girl a forehand. Okay. Looks pretty good. Thinking, let me hit this girl a backhand. Oh, kind of looks kind of kooky. That's a weapon. Let me feed it there. Hey, do you want to take some serves? Yeah. Pitter pat. Lollipop. Oh, I'm going to step in and crank her returns. Okay. You want to take some volley? Sure. Beat her a forehand volley. Volley pop. Give you a backhand volley. Flat jack. Rack and drop below the net. Okay. So my strategy now is I'm going to crank her return. I'm going to crank my returns of serve. I'm going to hit him down the line in the deuce court and cross court in the I court because her backhand sucks. I'm going to drop shot her all day long. The only shot she has is a forehand. So I'm going to make sure I drop shot it to the backhand side every single time. And I won't even allow her to run around it if she doesn't have a backhand and tries to go inside out. Don't you think that's a pretty good recipe for kicking your ass if that's how you get down?
I don't get down that way, but yeah.
I know you don't. Do that to you, and you just smack the backhand of the line. Yeah, I get that. But I'm just saying, pay attention during warm-up, find that weakness, and exploit that. Okay, I do not have a problem with Carlos Alcaraz's father filming Novak Djokovic. Good for him. Let's go Novak, but I can assure you that Novak Djokovic probably watches them practice and he memorizes it because he's so damn intelligent. How many languages does Djokovic speak fluently? Like 7 or 8? I think Roger speaks 5. I think Nadal speaks 4.
I'm not close.
I think Djokovic runs the gauntlet on that too of the GOAT of knowing foreign language. I think he speaks 8. I think. Okay. All right. Last thing, and we're going to squash this. Predict the score of Daniil Medvedev versus Christopher Eubanks. Predict the score. Let's go in the chat. I'll predict mine first. What's up, Mike Walker? Let's go, bro. Mike Walker says, my nephew is in England complaining how cold it is in England. They have no summer. That's interesting. Same hemisphere. Yeah, that's quite an interesting comment, honestly. I would have thought differently.
I know. That's why I was looking it up. There's no way Novak speaks 8 languages. I know that.
How many is it, though? Look it up. It's a lot of languages. Look it up, though. We've seen this before. I just put how many languages can Novak Djokovic speak. I think it's quite a few. Federer's, I think, 5.
So he's fluent in Serbian, English, French, German, and Italian.
5 languages. My bad.
Okay.
Still a pretty damn good number. 5, 6 languages. That's damn tough. Okay, predict the score on the Medvedev Eubank. Speaking 5 languages, 8, whatever. He's a beast. I can't even speak 1. I mean, I can, like part of 1. Medvedev Eubank score. I'm going Medvedev 6-2, 7-6, 6-4.
8 languages.
Federer speaks 8 languages. Yes, okay. All right. Well, fair enough. Wasn't that far off base. Medvedev Eubanks, what you got?
I'll pick Eubanks just because it doesn't matter.
Score.
Let's say Medvedev wins the first 6-4, then Eubanks wins it 4-6 or 6-4, whatever, and 7-5 and 6-3.
All right. I hope that happens. I really hope Eubanks, has a great match, an epic match. But I think Medvedev wins that in straight set, 6-2, 6-3.
It says it on there. I don't know.
6-3, 6-2, 6-3. Straightforward match. Alcaraz versus Rune. Who you got?
Federer speaks German, English, French. Huh? I'm going to go with Rune.
Okay. Alcaraz should win that one because Rune's attitude sometimes gets the best of him if he gets down. I think Alcaraz there in 4. I think Rune gets a set. Okay. Madison Keys and Sabalenka. Who you got? And what's the score?
I'll go with 2 sets. Okay.
Straight sets. I'm going to take Keys there. I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to take Keys in 3. Okay. Sabalenka comes out, hitting her spots, grunting like a, stuffed pig and hitting everything really hard. Keys hangs in there, gives her a couple more balls to hit. She tires a bit, and Keys comes through in 3. Take that. I'll take that bet friendly with someone for $20. Agrees. Does anyone want to bet me $20, Mike Walker? Does anyone want to bet me $20 straight up that Madison Keys beats Sabalenka? I'm sure Mike will take that. I'm pretty sure.
2-0. Jushan said 2-0.
Okay. Yeah, 2 sets to none. MotoGP. Will Carlos smash her head against the wall when Djokovic wins again?
Nah, because I don't really care.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, she does care. If Nadal was playing, she'd be all crying.
I don't even watch Nadal half the time.
It's a great comment.
I really don't care, honestly.
Let's go MotoGP.
I really don't care. I care about my kids.
How
well they do. I don't care about how somebody else does because I'm not making the money. I'm not reaping the fame. I don't care.
Well, when I watch our own kids play,
I prefer
I'm
more
a student
in what they're doing.
Or a student. I don't necessarily care. I mean, I do. I don't care if they win or lose. And I mean, I say I do care. It's just that I won't get pissed off if they win or lose. The only thing I get pissed off about is when I'm sitting there knowing I've spent countless hundreds, if not thousands of hours on the court with all of them. I know when they try hard and I know when they don't because I raised them since they were born on the court. So I only get pissed off, not because they win or lose, but I get pissed off if they're whining about the temperature or they're not running or they're double faulting 3 million times and all this shit. I get pissed off if something is preventable and if we're able to correct that mid-match. I don't get pissed off win or lose. I only get pissed off if we don't problem solve because we worked on it time and time again.
Exactly. I miss players. I miss Sampras when he retired. I cried. But I mean, at the end of the day, good for any of these people that can do. Because tennis is tough, right? We know how tough it is. For them to accomplish that, you have to be like, wow. But right now, I don't care. I mean, I really don't care. I don't. I'm not obsessed with it. I'm a coach. I'm around tennis all day long. Believe me. Sometimes you don't want to hear about tennis.
And then also, too, just to put her comment in perspective, tennis is an individual sport. Doubles times 2. I understand that. Mm-hmm. But, I love all sports. It doesn't matter if it's cricket or football or soccer or whatever. But, if I'm a quarterback in football and I don't have a receiver that I can trust to get exactly the spot on his route that he needs to go, and knowing that if I don't make the perfect throw, then it's not going to, kind of meet in the middle typing. Tennis, it's all you. You don't have a receiver to blame the bad route on. The receiver doesn't have a quarterback to blame the bad throw on. You don't have an offensive line for the running back to blame I didn't have a hole to run through. It's just you. And again, for me, again, students are my own children or even myself. I don't get pissed off if I or they lose. I don't. But I do get pissed off at myself or they if I feel like they didn't try or doing the same things that they have done at previous tournaments and we're still doing it again. Then I lose my shit.
You can blame your coach.
Okay, that's a good point. Blame the coach.
That's a sad thing.
I mean, that's the thing. That's the problem.
When you see pros blaming their coach, they should smack themselves on the head with a racket because you should blame
yes,
yourself.
It's live, Dakota. And I love that name.
I already said that. You should blame yourself.
Yeah.
Blame yourself because you're the dumb one that didn't listen.
Yeah, and he's right. There is always someone to blame. But
unfortunately.
But the thing is, and Dakota, welcome and a very poignant and good comment. The thing is I think as human beings, whether you're playing a sport or not, you're always going to have someone to blame. But doesn't the real humble, championship-minded, well-rounded, well-raised child or whatever have the morals or have the etiquette or have the courage, if it's their fault, to just say it's their fault? Let me give you an example. I won't make a long story out of it, but there's been many of times where I've known somebody and I knew just by being around, the old saying that snitches get stitches or snitches are bitches, but you see things. You're like, man, I know that dude just cheated on that dude's girl. I just saw it. And then you walk the other way because you don't want to get, your ass whipped for any reason. But I really think there are certain times where you blame things on someone just to get yourself out of trouble. Like, hey, were you driving under the influence? No, that was my buddy down the street. Hey, did you steal that thing of gum from the store? Oh, no, someone threw it in my car when I drove by. I think that's kind of like the human way, right? Hey, you cheated on your girlfriend. Well, I was drunk. I didn't know. I mean, and people lap this shit up, and there's always someone to blame. But I think a real champion, a humble champion, will look he or she in the mirror and just say, I could have done better, and I'm going to go back and do the best I can to move forward. Who are some champions that do this? Would you say Roger Federer is one?
Djokovic.
Would you say Djokovic is one?
Nadal.
Is another.
That's why they are where they are, because they don't blame others.
Would you say Muhammad Ali is one?
Yeah, the best champions, they don't blame others. They blame themselves.
Even the likes of Mike Tyson. I'm probably sure you're like, man, he bit someone's ear. No. Mike Tyson never whined and complained about no. He just did what he had to do and maybe reacted in the wrong way, to say the least. I love Tyson. Anyway, but there's a level of beastness that you can get from the masses if you stand up for yourself, and even if you struggle because you stood up for something that was righteous in the first place. I think all in all, karma. Does anyone believe in karma? What goes around comes around. If you're good, you're going to receive good. If you're bad, you're going to get bad. Karma is important, and if you walk around blaming everyone else for your faults, then the more you do it, the more you look like a dipshit, because people start talking and they start looking and your ass start walking. But if you stand up for things, we have students and they lose a match early on, first or second round. Do we walk around talking about, oh, it's because of the sun, or whoa, do we?
Practice harder.
It's like we didn't train them hard enough. Let's get back to practice. Let's go. And then when the students are like, no, I want to take a break, then you're like, okay, now this is where I can blame you here. But I want to take you to the courts right now. I think last time Lily lost a final, we went to the courts that day on the way home, wasn't it? Or was it after a semifinal? You remember? Anyway, the best time to work on things after a fail is right then and there, because it stays fresh in your mind. You go to sleep, you wake up, and you forget about the easy drop shot you missed. You forget about the lob that you missed. You forget to go at the body when you should have gone out wide. You forget. So sometimes the best way to address issues is by debriefing it right then. Last thing, I'm going to cut it off here. In the United States military, any military for that matter, especially the pilots or surgeons or doctors, you always debrief or post-op or post-flight checklists and discussions. Why? Because if I'm flying Mach 1.6 at 32,000 feet and I go into a split S and I lose cabin pressure and I go hypoxic, my vision narrows and I pass out, and I somehow live to talk about it, I need to figure out why that happened. 2, how do I prevent it from happening? And number 3, how do I prevent the other pilots from that occurring too? And how do you do that? By problem solving yourself and being passionate enough to share that with others. And how do you do that? By problem solving yourself and being passionate enough to share that with others and other coaches for a really big kind of exclamation point, your children. If you're going to pay a coach to teach your children, they have multiple children, and their excuse is, hey, why don't your kids play? Oh, because they just don't like it. Then all you're in it for is yourself. Okay? Fair enough. You should always do everything you can do for your children or any young child for that matter. But don't come talking about you're the greatest coach ever if you've got little children that have no idea to even play or even remotely play.
You're attacking somebody again.
Even remotely play the sport you play. I'm not talking about just tennis. I'm talking about football. I'm talking about basketball.
But you got to remember that some coaches, maybe their kids don't want.
Okay, does LeBron James' son play basketball?
Yeah, but some don't.
Okay, does Lonzo Ball's boys play basketball?
Did Agassi and
his son plays baseball?
But what I'm saying, maybe
they're athletes.
Yeah, but maybe
they're not doughboy and doughgirls. They're not running around, the Humpty Dumpty off the wall. And I see this often.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Much love. We'll see you soon. Good show.
Okay.
You got anything else?
No, I thought you were going to mention the Raducanu, but you're good.
Oh, what was I going to say?
I just saw something in the paper.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Hingis, something.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you. I forgot it was written in the same color ink. That's why I don't do that. Mm-hmm. But Martina Hingis made a couple of statements about Raducanu. Emma Raducanu, as you know, we always call Raducanu. Carla and I, just to rewind a bit, we blasted Raducanu after she won the U.S. Open. We called her a fluke. So did the likes of Flavia Panetta and Roberta Vinci and da-da-da-da-da. And I went on some rant one night and threw her under the bus, and we lost like 40 subscribers because of it. Whatever. We obviously didn't care because we don't do this for money. I think we made 12 cents off of it in 5 years or something. Anyway, so we read an article that Martina Hingis says Raducanu will never return to the top of the sport. Not that she did in the first place, COVID, whatever, because of how bad her management team has become. Her career management, her fitness management, the people controlling her narrative. They're more about the money from sponsors than themselves and not about what it takes to compete for years at the highest level. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree with her 100%.
Give me some examples.
I mean,
the Vogue instead of the practice court.
Everything was given to her too quickly. So when everything's given to you too quickly, why do you have to work so hard?
Exactly. If you ain't hungry, what you working for?
So how is she gonna? Yeah, no.
Yeah, what you working for?
I agree with her. How often are you streaming live here and when? Because we're both tennis coaches, it's tough to do live streaming. Now,
Dakota's a great question. We've done this for about 5 years. And again, thanks for the question. We've done it for 5 years. And for the first 3 years, we did it every single day during a major. So at 14 days, sometimes 15, if there was a delay, we would do it every single day. But we taught here where we live in Dauphin Island, Alabama, and the course we're just right up the street. But the past year and a half, we now drive an hour one way and then an hour back. And the only reason why we were able to do this today is because it rained at this time. So it's hard for us with 5 children 3 in the house, 2 in college, and they'll be home in a couple of days. But it's really tough for us to drive, leave here at 5 a.m, to go there, get done with lessons at 8 o'clock at night, sometimes get home at 11 p.m., shower, go to bed at midnight, and then wake up at 4:30 to get back there at 8 in the morning. It's just really tough. Sometimes, as a matter of fact, the other night I came home and I told Carla, we got to do a show. These people we've met over all these years and we chatted all the time. And I said, we got to do a show. And Carla looked at me and she was right. And she said, Justin, we're tired. We're weary. We've slept for 6 hours in 3 days. We got a tournament coming up. We need to be fresh. Otherwise, we won't be professional. You said that. And that was her quote. We got to be fresh. And then I remember, I was a little flustered because I had written all the material. We write all this stuff. And I'd written all the material and I'm thinking, damn, I want to do that. But then I woke up the next morning and I realized that I was so tired. I couldn't even really remember what transpired the last 3 days. So I think it's important to be fresh. But for the rest of the Wimbledon, for example, there's I think a 40 or 50% chance of rain the rest of this week here in off the Gulf Coast of Mobile, Alabama. If it rains, we can't finish the day there because we can't wait too long for it to dry because at 7 o'clock at night, with kids, it's tough to get, it's impossible. So if it rains, at 2, 3 in the afternoon, we have no choice but to be done for the day. And that's what happened today. So we came back. The only downside of that is we have to get up extra early to go and groom the courts before it may rain again that afternoon. So either way, you know, we're doing the best we can, but we were lucky to be here today, and thank you for being here. But we only did so because it rained, because we do have a job to do, and an enjoyable one at that. Okay, anyway, enough said. Let's freaking go. All right, to end the show, I've been doing this the past couple of times. There's a book that my father wrote back in the 80s, and each page is one individual thought. Okay, each page, just a quick thought. I'm just going to open it randomly, and I'm going to read 2 Lizard Tales, which is like a philosophical book, kind of a thought about life. Okay, I have no idea how this is going to go. Ready? Just don't tap so I can. Mm-hmm. All right. This one was written for my sister Amy in 1982, and this one is called Opinion Lizards, like your opinion. All right, opinion lizards are very good little lizards. 2 of them were on the patio drying off from a bath, and one said to the other, "It's helpful, I think, to remember that everything has an explanation, but be careful about trying to offer one." Okay, fair enough. Never pass up an opportunity to keep your mouth shut. Be careful because someone might think you're a smart ass, or be careful, you might be wrong.
I have trouble with that.
Yeah.
Well, I really do.
Yeah, when I was in college, I think my junior year, there was a professor that I had. His name was Dr. Gerald Williams. He was abnormal psychology junior year, I think. And he would always write some question on the board, and it would be a bullshit question with no answer, you know, just some weird question. And it'd be an auditorium class, and this is the very first class. I had him for a couple of classes, so I knew it was coming. But he writes some, you know, question has no answer. And he says, you know, as class, who wants to answer this question? You got a million hands coming up. And he's like, yep, no, you, no, you, no. And then he would point to me because I'd taken his class so many times, different variations. I think statistical analysis, stat 1, stat 2, this. Anyway, but he pointed, and I already knew the answer. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know the answer. The moral of the story was that sometimes it's best to say, I just don't know, than it is to be a smart ass and answer something that has no answer. Kind of like people talk about politics or race or religion. Just keep your mouth shut because no one has an answer for it. Otherwise, it would have already have been answered. And I'm too dumb to think about it, admittedly. Okay. It would have already have been answered. And I'm too dumb to think about it, admittedly. Okay. Next one and last one. Here we go. Random thing. All right, here we go. And they kind of look like this, by the way. Okay, so last one. This one is called Another Yes or Yes Lizard. Another Yes or Yes Lizard. This one was written for me on 21 January 1982. All right, I recently saw another little yes or yes lizard who had traveled all the way across the country to ask an old lizard a question. The little lizard asked, "What things have pros and cons?" And the old lizard stood up and bellowed, "Everything." Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. I talk about pros and cons all the time. What's a pro and con of practicing your serve or not? Ask yourself that question. All right, let's go. See you next time.
Bye-bye.